There were many wonderful things that happened to these children along the way in Mexico. It's not a completely bleak landscape. And I think those wonderful things are lessons for Americans, really, in how to treat migrants. When children go through the southernmost state of Chiapas, it really is the heart of darkness. Most of these kids are beaten, robbed, or raped before they get out of the first of 13 states that they have to cross getting through Mexico. But the south central state of Veracruz, it lifted my faith in humanity after what I had seen before. Because in Veracruz, where there would be this curve in the tracks, for some reason this train had to slow down, I would see in these little towns, when people heard that whistle of the train, I'd see 10 or 30 people run out of their huts with these bundles of food in their arms. And they'd start waving and smiling and shouting out to these migrants on top of the trains. And I'd see them throw up bread or tortillas, whatever fruit was in season at the time. Enrique was pummeled with oranges. I had these huge branches of bananas being thrown up on top of me and rolls of crackers. If people didn't have food, they would throw bottles of tap water. And if they didn't have that, I would see people come out of their huts, they'd line up next to the tracks, and they would put their hands together, and they would say a silent prayer for these migrants as they pass by. And I was just so moved by this spectacle, because these people make $1 a day. They could barely feed their own children, but they were giving a little of what they had to complete strangers from other lands who they would never see again. And every single one of them told me, I am doing this because it's the Christian thing to do. It's the right thing. It is what Jesus would do if he were standing in my shoes. And I think the woman who most exemplified this was, for me, really the best part of this journey was this woman named Maria in Veracruz. You know, I had some problems with her initially because as an investigative reporter, she told me that she was 132 years old. So I was like, okay, let's try to get past that fact. She said that during the Mexican Revolution in 1910, she had been so hungry, she would eat the bark of the plantain tree in her front yard. Her hands were completely curled, gnarled with age, but she would force them to make these little bags with tortillas, beans, salsa, whatever she had inside her hut. And when she heard that whistle, she would hand all of these bags to her 70-year-old daughter, and Soledad would run down this rocky slope next to their hut and heave all these bags up to the migrants on top of the train. And Maria told me that day something I'll never forget. She said, if I have one tortilla, I will give half away. I know God will bring me more. And I've never seen people live their faith like I saw in Mexico.